Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Isabel Umahi and I am a makeup artist based in Enugu, Nigeria. And if you're new on my channel, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give this video a huge thumbs up and drop a comment down below. I began this look by cleansing the face, and right now I am applying those two products. One of them is the Snail Mucin Essence by Cosrx and the other is the Snail Mucin Moisturizer. So I applied the essence first of all to create a hydration on her skin, and then I seal that with the moisturizer. You guys, I know I have been MIA on this channel. I'm so sorry, but I am back, and I am back with loads and loads of content for you. So just stay tuned on this channel and do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Love you all. So I went on and I applied my primer. I used the Becca primer and I just applied it on her T-zones, which are just basically her nose area. And then I used this MAC corrector under her eyes and on the part of her face that she has a little bit of her hyperpigmentation, which are the upper part of her lips and the lower part like her chin. And I just mixed the yellow concealer with a little bit of a lighter concealer on that palette, which is the first concealer, and I applied this on her face and I blended it out. So I used the two foundation, which are the NYX foundation in golden, and I mixed a little bit of the Lancôme O2 foundation to get her exact shade because she really is on the fair skin tone. And I just used a little amount of foundation. I didn't want to use a lot because she has like a really flawless skin. So the golden foundation, which is the NYX, is actually really yellow, and the Lancôme is actually more of a very light shade, and Nashida is literally white. But I had to bring back the golden undertone with the NYX foundation, and this created a great match. You can see from the parts that I applied foundation and the part I did not apply foundation, her skin still looked so good. Now for concealer, I'm using the aucoin concealer, and this is in 07. This is just brighten up but not so white for her face. So you can see it also still has a hint of a yellow undertone or a golden undertone, and this is just sitting absolutely perfectly on her face. And I'm going to be applying this under her eyes, the middle of her nose, a little bit on her chin, on the upper part of her lip, and the side of her mouth. And this is just going to create the perfect highlight on her face. I'm just taking my time to do a great placement because when it comes to makeup, the placement of every product matters a whole lot. So I'm just placing the product properly before I move on to the next stage. Right now I am using this foundation, which is the NYX Born This Way or Born to Glow foundation in Nutmeg. And this is just a perfect bronzy shade for Nashida because she's so fair, and this is just the perfect way to bring back color and warm her face up. So I'm going to apply that on the sides of her cheeks, her forehead, and the corners of her nose to contour her nose. So this is my placement, and after doing this, I'm just going to start by blending the warm colors on her face and kind of create like a warmth and a bronzy effect on her face. And then after doing that, I'm going to go and apply blush. And for my liquid blush, I'm using this Eye Magic palette, and I'm using that pinkish shade, and I'm just taking it upward to kind of snatch her face a bit with that blush. I put in a little bit on the forehead and a little bit on the tip of her nose. After doing that, I'm just going to go right in and blend my concealer using my beauty sponge from Glam. This is the beauty blender from Glam Cosmetics, and I'm just using this to blend all over her face. As I'm blending the concealer, I'm also not forgetting the cream blush I just applied on her face. I'm also going to blend that out and take my time and blend the entire face strategically, not letting one part, you know, kind of go into the other parts. After blending, I'm using this number 7 powder. This is the number 7 powder in light. This is kind of like a finishing powder. It's really soft and it's such a beautiful powder. I love this powder so much. It's just like my go-to. So I'm using this powder to set all the part of her face I highlighted first of all. And before I set, you know, I always have to go back in with my beauty blender, blend that part of her face that I want to set, because if you do not blend it out, it could leave a crease, and once you set that crease, you know, you've sealed that in for life. So you always want to take your time to blend first of all before you go ahead and set with your powder. Right now I'm using the Morphe bronzing palette, or do I say the face palette, and I'm using that shade, the yellow shade, which is supposed to be a highlight shade, and I'm using that as my overall powder because it's such a soft powder. It doesn't have like a lot of pigmentation, and I did not want her face to have like lots of pigmentation, so I'm just using that powder as an overall shade of powder, and it sat so beautifully. I love it. For my bronzer, you guys, I am using this Ronald 7 eyeshadow palette, and I'm using that shade. It's kind of like a perfect bronzy shade for a very light skinned person. It's actually so beautiful. You all, can you see how it just gives that perfect orangey warm color on her face? I love it so much, and I'm using that as her bronzer, and I'm using that to warm her cheek. Also, I'm using the first bronzer shade in my Morphe palette, and I'm just using that to contour the nose and the forehead. After that, I'm just spraying her face with my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. Let that sit in and dry off, and going over with my Laura Mercier setting powder. I'm just going to be using that, putting a little bit of the powder under her eyes just to catch out any fallout when I'm doing the eyeshadow, and I'm just placing it strategically to also snatch her face a bit. Hey guys, so I went off camera and I did her brows. If you would also love to see the tutorial on how I did this brow, please comment down below and I'll release just a tutorial on how I did this brow on Nishida. For her eyes, I used the Benign Clown White eyeshadow primer, and I placed it on her eyes, blended it out, and right now I'm using the Ronald 7 eyeshadow palette. I'm using that bronzer shade that I used for her cheek, and I'm just going to be putting that as a transition all over her upper eyelid, and I'm going to be blending that out and also taking it to the outer corner of her eyes and kind of smoking it out. Going over with my Hudabeauty eyeshadow mini eyeshadow palette, I'm using that matte nude shade all over her eyes because this is kind of like a nude look, sultry nude, beautiful look, and I'm just placing that all over her eyelid and creating the perfect transition with the transition color I already applied. Just blending those two colors together so they form like a beautiful color. Using this brown shade from that palette, I'm going to be using this to smoke out the outer corner of the eyes. And whenever I'm smoking out the outer corner, I always, you know, kind of take it a little bit out just to create like a cut line effect and just blow it out, and it always looks so pretty. So I'm doing that with the brown, blowing it out a bit, and after doing that, I'm going to blend it with the brush I used for the transition. Blend that so there's no harsh line. Going over with my Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. This is a soft glam palette. I'm going to be using the darker brown, and I'm going to be using that to smoke it out, smoking the outer part of the eyes. I want it to be a little bit dramatic, not too dramatic, but I really wanted drama on the outer part of the eyes because this look is kind of a soft look, but I still wanted it to have drama. you know, soft but a little bit dramatic and sultry. Mostly I was going for the sultry effect, and this blown out cat line smoky effect is going to give it that sultry look I wanted, and not just a nude look. So I'm using my blending brush and I'm just blowing that out and blending that shade out. Whenever I blend, I also go in with the transition color and kind of blend so it's not too dark and it's creating the perfect color I would love. Taking my time to blend this out until I am fully satisfied, and then I'm also going to be going in with a flat brush and I'm going to be using that same shade under her eyes. I'm just blending that out and smudging that out of the eye so that there's a transition is flowing with the outer corner and under her eyes. It's just kind of creating like a seamless flowing effect. You guys, so the light went off when it came to doing my eyeliner, and because we were already like out of time, like we were in a rush already at this time, so I just had to make do with filming this video while waiting for the light to come on. And this is me doing the eyeliner using the Inglot gel liner 77. I hope you can still see what I'm doing. I know it's a bit dark, but I just hope you can still see what I am doing. I'm so sorry for this. Please do bear with me, the light will come on soon. So I'm using the gel liner and I'm lining both the upper part of her eyes and the lower lashes. And after lining properly, I'm just going to use a little bit of a concealer and I'm just going to create a line underneath the liner just to make it a bit more sharper. It's kind of like I'm using concealer to clean out the liner, and I'm just trying to make it as sharp and as precise as possible so it creates the perfect winged lining effect. After doing this, I'm going to be setting this concealer with the setting powders. I'm just going to take it, I'm going to blend it first of all with a blending brush, a tiny blending brush. After blending that, I'm going to use a setting powder and I'm going to set it and lock that in. Going over with my Zara 4-in-1 mascara, I'm going to be applying mascara on her eyes before applying lashes. For lashes, I'm using this beautified lashes. This is from Wynk lashes, and I absolutely love these beautified lashes, especially for people with small eyes, or if I'm creating kind of like a nude look. I did not want this look to be so intense, so I opted for a little lashes or a small lashes just to make this look very natural and sultry also. And I also wanted the eyes to be seen because I did not want the lashes to overwhelm the eyes. So you have to be very strategic when picking your lashes, because your lashes can make or mar your look. It can also tell the kind of look you are going for. If you go and use loud or full or big or long lashes on a simple look, it's going to turn that look from being simple to being more unnatural, or do I say being a lot more louder. Yeah, so your lashes also matters when you're creating a look, so keep in mind every single step you're doing matters when creating a makeup look. So guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and start doing my lips, and for the lip I'm using this NYX lip liner, and I'm going to be lining the lips with this lip liner, taking my time to line the lips and blend it out. So you guys, I'm zooming into this so that you all see the lips properly. And then after lining, I went over and I applied my setting spray. This is the Urban Decay All Night setting spray. Sprayed out all over the lips, all over the face, sorry, and kind of to make sure this looks set properly and take off all the powdery effect. Next, I went over with the lipstain from Dose of Color, and this is kind of like a little bit of a peachy, pinkish shade, pinkish nude shade, and I applied that all over her lips, and this is in Truffle. And after that, I went over with this Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighter, and this is in Peach, and I'm just going to be using this on the sides of her face, the high points and the just all over the high points of her face, the sides and the forehead. I'm going over with this blush. This is the Beauty Creation blush in Caress Me. Right now I'm using this Fenty Beauty highlighter. Just going to be using this on the high point of her nose. For the lips now, I am just blending in a little bit of a pinkish shade from my Eye Magic palette, and I'm just blending that all over her lips, and I'm applying a little bit of a white in the inner corner just to brighten the inner corner of her lip and make it pop a bit before I go ahead and apply gloss. And for gloss, I'm just going to be applying the Ronald the 7th lip gloss, and this gloss is called Banquette, and this is just such a beautiful minty gloss. Whenever I apply this on any of my clients, they'll be like, it's so minty. I absolutely love this gloss. It's so juicy. So I'm taking my time and I'm just applying this gloss all over her lips. I would love it to create that pinkish shine, and you guys, it's giving what it's meant to give, and I absolutely love this gloss. And I absolutely love this entire look. I want y'all to tell me what you think about this look. Do y'all love it as much as I do? So now for the final step or the final process, I'm using this brow gel, and I'm just going to be using that to brush all over the brows to keep it in place and also make it look as pretty as possible. So this is the look. I hope you love it as much as I do. Please do not forget to drop a comment down below in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this look, and if you love it as much as I do, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, drop a comment down below, and give this video a huge thumbs up. Until my next video, I love you all. Bye bye.